everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk to you about the various different lighting setups that I use for the various orchids in my collection and how the lighting that I use kind of differs between the different types of orchids that I'm keeping, and also the new setups that I'm kind of trialling out at the moment to see if I can better use my space and the lighting that I have available to kind of keep more orchids in a better lit situation. So I started off using under cabinet LED lights, and I'd always buy these in the cool white because they have more of the kind of blue lighting that is required for orchids, because the blue light is the spectrum of lighting that kind of excites the chlorophyll pigments in the orchids. That's kind of a generalization because there's different types of chlorophyll and they have slightly different excitation and emission spectrum. But for the most part, blue light is considered essential for growth, and red lights are considered essential for flowering. And the cool white lighting offers the kind of best availability of these lights. So I'd buy the cool white LED under cabinet lights, but I just felt like that wasn't enough for some of my higher light orchids. So I've also tried out a few different types of lights. So I just wanted to talk you through each of those setups. So if we start off with the lighting that I've got here, so this is my higher light orchid situation. Also, I've got a few little orchids thrown in here that don't take up a lot of space and can kind of go in between the big orchids and still get quite a lot of light from this setup. So at the moment, I'll show you a kind of wide shot of what I'm using. So I've got this shelving unit from Hartley's Direct, which is a wire shelving unit. It's kind of a generic wire shelving unit. You can get these in various colours pretty much anywhere in the world, but the Hartley's Direct site in the UK sells a really nice white version, which is much cheaper than like the IKEA versions as well. So I really like the wire shelving racks because you can move the shelves and you can create quite a nice big space, which I'm trying to utilise better by hanging some of the orchids. But this means I only actually need one light to light this whole area, which is really good. And I'm kind of playing around with setups that best utilise this with the hanging pots. So this light here is the GEMMA full spectrum chip on board LED grow light. So this differs from standard kind of grow lights in that it's got lots of different coloured LEDs in it. So it provides a much broader spectrum of lighting, which also includes green wavelength lights, which are the lights that excite anthocyanins and that produce anthocyanins in the plant. So in sunlight, when you get a high anthocyanin level, that's an indication that your light is very powerful because it's got a lot of the green spectrum lighting in. And that's actually how lumens are measured, by the green spectrum lighting. So this is a full spectrum light and it's got the greens, reds and blues that are all essential for kind of plant function. However, a lot of LED growing lights just have the blues and the reds. That's absolutely fine. I just much prefer also the coloration of this lighting. You can see it has got some of the kind of blues and reds showing, and you can actually see a really nice prism effect on the side of the different coloured LEDs there, which is a really nice illustration of it actually. So that shows you the kind of spectrum of LEDs that are in there. And my plants do really well under this grow light. I've got the higher light orchids, or I started off with the higher light orchids there. And what I had to start with was I had two of the LEDs, one sort of here and one here. And they've got, I believe it's a 90-degree beam angle. You can see the beam angle on the wall there. And where the beam angle was sort of hitting in the middle from the two lights that I had either side, it was creating very, very intense light. And I was getting actually some kind of photo bleaching of some of my higher light orchids, like my Angrecums, which they're not like the highest light orchids, but they're quite high light orchids. They're higher than Oncidium type light. And so I decided to switch down just to one of the GEMMA LED lights because it was a little bit too intense. And I actually lowered the shelving as well. And this seems a much better balance. I'm still getting really good root and leaf growth on my kind of younger Vandas here. My Dimorphorus lowii at the back there has actually started producing new roots from its little keiki, which is really good. And it's also growing a new root tip. I'll just show you quickly. It's not the purpose of this. Yeah, that made me really happy when I found that. So yeah, it's producing new roots already, which is really good. So yeah, I've got a Cattleya violacea under here as well, and this is the one that I did that horrible repotting of because it was mounted in like coconut husk, but it's already putting out quite a lot of new growths. It's got 5 new growths on it. You can see one there. Yeah, it's got quite a lot of new growths on it, and you can kind of see how glossy the leaves of this plant are. They're just super healthy. This is my Aerides odorata. I've got a flower spike on one of my primary hybrid Phalaenopsis. So this is Gigantea crossed with Super Stupid Carmela F1. So this is the one that I got in spike from Klassen, and it's now producing some buds. So it's kind of wobbling a bit there, and that's because this grow light actually has a fan as well, which is really good because it also, while it's called grow light, it does provide a little bit of air circulation for my plant as well. I had 2 Gemma LED grow lights initially, and I took one away, and I'm playing around with the setup, and I actually think that I could get 2 in here if I did, because I've got this at a more appropriate beam angle now. I really like having it at this angle, and the way that this utilises the light that it's producing, and that I can get the light still from hanging orchids. So I think if I had 2 of these at this kind of distance, instead of both beam angles being concentrated at the same point, if I could do this, I think that this will be better, because you can see, like, even in the corner, my Oncidium that I've got right in the corner there, and this Oncidium Pipicare Sunset are still getting lit really well, even in the corners. Actually, I mean, it's lighting an area out to here. So I could even utilise this better by hanging maybe some plants off the side here as well. But that would kind of enclose the space a little bit, so I'm not sure that I want to do that, but that's definitely an option. So yeah, I'm really happy with that, and I think I will purchase another one to put up on the end here, because when I took away the second one, I thought, well, I've got this spare now, so I can utilise it for my Vandas. So I actually put it on my little Vanda shelving unit. So it's not on at the moment. So you can see this is the light level without it being on that we're getting. It's right in front of a south-facing window. You can just hear the fan kick in. And that's the light level with it on, which is quite a dramatic difference. And this even hits the orchids right at the back there. So turn it off again. You can see that really makes a difference, even at the orchids furthest away. So a lot of my Vandas have gone outside for summer, but when they come in for winter, I think I'd probably like another one on here as well, because I'm probably going to have to get another rack to hang them. I've got another spare one that I can put just in front. And yeah, I think that that would be really a good use of that. So having initially bought 2, because when you buy 2 of the GEMMA LED grow lights, it's like a discounted price for the bundle. I now would like I think I'll get another 2. I think it's good that I tried them out first and just bought 2, because they're not particularly cheap. Now, growing quite highlight orchid under these and flowering quite highlight orchids under these grow lights, which is really great, and it's fantastic because although it's summer and there's a lot of light outside, my grow room is I don't have a lot of space. So my grow room is the only place that I can grow orchids pretty much in my house. It's got quite a small window, and I've got orchids filling like all of the walls, and a lot of them just wouldn't get much light without the grow lights. So I kind of have to run the grow lights year round. So I did look up, I was kind of looking through on Amazon for cheaper grow lights like the GEMMA LED grow light. And I was always kind of going through the specifications and the time that they would last, like the lifetime of the LEDs in there and the spectrums that they provided and the kind of brightness of the LED. I was going up and up through the price range. Eventually I kind of found a product that was a more equivalent, and that's looking at like the Mars grow lights, and they are a lot more expensive. So I kind of thought, well, I'll just go for the GEMMA LED bundle because that's a much more affordable alternative, and I'm really happy with it. And I think actually value for money, it's really good compared to some of the other higher priced grow lights out there that maybe don't even have quite the same specifications. So for me, this has been a really good investment, and I will certainly be buying a couple more. And yeah, I did, I bought these, and then I contacted Gemma after I bought them because I was thinking of starting this YouTube channel and I wanted to do a talk on lighting. And the person I spoke to at Gemma was so incredibly helpful in giving me some of the details about how to space the grow lights and the kind of spectrums that they provided. And I wanted a bit more information about why that was important for plants as well. And they were really happy to help. So they've also provided a discount code for anyone who wants to purchase these, which I've provided in the description down below, just because I thought, well, if I'm going to be making videos about my orchids and about how my grow light setup works, then I'll see if Gemma can do anything for anyone who wants to buy any. So yeah, they were happy to do that. So if you do want to go ahead and purchase them, at least then you've got a discounted price, and I might actually use that code myself. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to do that. Oh well, I might. I'll see. So yeah, my other kind of lighting setup are these lights over here. Now this is a combination to try and make this a more affordable highlight area of a Screwfix under-counter LED like kitchen light and a BioTropic PURple grow light, which is a blue and red spectrum combination. And I'm hoping that the combination with the under cabinet lighting provides a bit more of a full spectrum situation, because I don't really like the thought of just providing blue and red lights. Obviously I've got some light coming in from the windows, but here I've got some of my higher light smaller orchids that actually fit under on these shelving units. And this is the Mullig shelving unit from IKEA. And they're all doing really well. They do really well under this setup, but unfortunately the lighting on these is not very bright, so you have to have the orchids quite close to be able to get this level of lighting. I tried removing this, because you can remove these shelves, and just having it as more of an open cabinet, and I didn't really get much lighting at all on the orchids at the bottom. I was thinking it would be good for like Phalaenopsis and Oncidiums and the orchids that produce very tall spikes when I was first starting out. But it didn't really work very well, so I've kept it like this and have my higher light kind of miniature orchids on there, and that works really well. I think you need kind of different setups for different situations and different size orchids, so it's kind of difficult to say one light is best for any of them, because I'm actually using combinations of different lighting techniques. And I've got here, just for my moss, one of the LED under counter grow lights, and for some of my kind of seedlings for desert roses and a few kind of smaller seedling orchids, I've got them under there, which is again the same situation with the LED under counter grow light and also the BioTropic PURple grow light. So yeah, and then on my Oncidium shelving, at the moment, and I'm not 100% happy with this, so I think I'm going to have to change some things around, but I've got two LED under-counter kitchen lights, and I've also got some light filtering down from above on the Phalaenopsis shelf there. And this is fine, but I just don't feel like it's bright enough. Here I've got one of the LED under-counter kitchen lights and then two kind of floodlights, which are LED 10-watt floodlights, to provide a bit more light for my Oncidiums, and also the Miltoniopsis on the bottom shelf there. And they have more LED like under-counter lighting on them. And they're all doing really well. They're all flowering. They're all producing spikes nicely. But I'm just not 100% happy with the setup. And that's more because of the fact that I've got so many different LED under-counter lights and LED lights here to try and provide the adequate level of lighting, that I'm using a lot of plug sockets. And that's my main issue, to be honest, because I'm growing in one room and I've only got two wall sockets, so I've got extension leads coming off them. So plug space is an absolute priority for me. And yeah, along the top shelves, I just have my Phalaenopsis under IKEA tertial lights, and I've bought some, I think, 1100 lumen cool white light bulbs from Amazon, except for that one, which is a warm light one. But that's fine. It's in combination. So yeah, that's kind of my lighting setup at the moment. I am planning on utilising the space a little bit better for like the Vandas, and getting another couple of the GEMMA LED grow lights. I've got on this shelf again more LED under counter lights, another kind of work lamp from IKEA with a 1100 lumen cool white LED bulb. And yeah, I mean, all my orchids are flowering nicely. and they're doing really well under this. So I tend to, obviously if I've got higher light orchids, with these shelves, it doesn't matter so much because the orchids are so close to the LED lighting. But where I've got bigger orchids that are going to produce like bigger flower spikes and take up quite a lot of space, or where I just want to utilise my space a little bit better, I really like this kind of setup, and I'm definitely going to be working on this. Because as you can see, I've got a little dark zone here. So I think if I could just hang another GEMMA LED grow light off here, I get a really nice lighting level for all of my Vandas that I've got potted, some of my cattleyas, my species phals. I've got neophenetias here as well. I've got Oncidiums, but more because I ran out of space for Oncidiums on the Oncidium shelf. But if I shuffle things around a little bit better, I think I can probably improve that situation as well. And I'm kind of constantly looking to improve my lighting situation. It's kind of I'm a little bit obsessed about lighting for orchids. I want the displays to look nice, and I want every orchid to have light and not be shaded. That really kind of gets me. That's just caught my attention, the nice shiny pseudobulb on my Encyclia cordidera. And I've actually got sheaths developing in this at the moment. So yeah, that's kind of all of the lighting situations that I use at the moment. And I hope that's been useful for you guys. And do let me know in the comments down below if you do have any other questions about lighting or anything about the kind of setups that I use to keep my orchids in the home. I'd be really happy to discuss it, and I'm always looking to improve my lighting setup. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you guys later. Bye!